Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Raptors Show on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. I'm your host, Alex Wong, still filling in for William Liu vacationing in parts unknown. A reminder, we're streaming live on Sportsnet's YouTube channel, airing live on Sportsnet 360 Monday to Friday from 2 to 3 p.m. We're not going to be on air tomorrow, though. Taking tomorrow off because I believe there's a conflict with the Toronto Blue Jays. So unfortunate to not be doing a show tomorrow. Happy hump day. I'm joined in studio today by Toronto Stars Liban Osman, friend of the program.
Oh, my God.
Liban, how's it going, man?
Good. I can't thank you enough for having me. Appreciate it.
yeah. We just try to make dreams come true, you know?
Right?
I thought you were going to wear your signature yellow hat.
I can't.
Your yellow outfit.
YouTube would have clowned me.
Yeah. Well, you know, how's the chopsticks going? Have you learned how to use chopsticks?
I have not, and I never will.
Oh, okay. You never will.
I don't think I will.
Okay. So you've already reached the point in your life. How old are you? 21?
23. Have some respect. Come on.
I respect young people. They're the ones that don't respect me. You're 23, so you've already reached the age where you've decided that there are certain things that you're just not going to learn.
Yeah, and I'm so allergic to a lot of foods that I'm like,
yeah,
poutine. I'm going to stick to it.
Yeah. You're actually allergic, though. This is not like...
To a lot of food, yeah.
Like,
but I'm also
health-wise,
scared.
you're allergic.
I'm scared. A lot of the times I'm like,
Yeah.
I eat what I like because I'm like, if I try this and I get an allergic reaction,
Yeah.
I will never, ever try to other foods, you know? Because like it makes you scared. You're like, oh, what if I try something new and something happens? It's like, why do that, you know?
Yeah, because we did bring you recently to a dinner at Hong Shing
Amazing.
downtown, and it was like this 8-course meal. But I guess you couldn't eat a lot of the things.
I can't believe you're saying this on air.
No seafood for you either?
Yeah, seafood, I feel like I'm allergic completely. I've never even like tried it, but I'm like, I'm going to stay away. I'm allergic to fish. That's exactly
So is this like a self-diagnosis or do you know this?
I need to go visit a doctor again and be like, hey, take those, you know, the little drops they do on you before.
So just try every type of food, see what the reactions are.
Exactly.
But anyways, we had an 8-course meal and, you know, the kitchen had to especially customize a fried rice.
It was amazing.
Liban.
It was amazing. Shout out to that kitchen. Oh, my God. It's the best rice I taste.
Oh, man. Anyways, so coming up later today, we're going to call our draft expert, James Herbert, and the three of us are going to draft our favorite moments from the 2019 Raptors championship season. This week is the 3-year anniversary of the Raptors winning the championship. Can you believe it's only been 3 years?
It feels like yesterday.
Oh, okay. I was going to say it feels like 15 years
Really?
ago. Okay. I guess, yeah, difference of opinion.
I feel like I'm numb. Like, I still don't believe that we won a championship 3 years later.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't feel real. Like, after years of just thinking, like, after LeBron, so I'm like, we are never going to win a championship.
Yeah, we can't bring up LeBron. So people get really angry.
I don't blame y'all, but I take it as, like, we needed to go through that to win a championship.
We did not need to go through any of that pain to win the championship. Disagree.
Yeah.
But it was painful, though.
It was.
It fits the narrative.
Yeah.
It's fun. You were like, what, 18 at the time when they won the title?
I was in my second year of university.
Yeah.
I have a lot of stories of that year where it was like I was running in the streets, but
yeah. Were you like at Jurassic Park? Were you out at the
funny thing is
all these places?
You know the Kawhi shot?
Yeah.
I had it ruined for me.
Okay.
I was streaming the game.
Yeah.
And then I just hear yelling from my neighbors. And I didn't know what happened. I didn't know what happened, but I thought, okay, something crazy might have happened. I didn't know he hit the shot, but I saw it and I'm like, damn. My neighbors are probably hearing this right now. They're probably like, wow, we really spoiled that for him.
So it was a little like tape delay situation.
Yeah, it was.
Where they saw the possession first.
Mm-hmm. I just heard yelling. I'm like, okay, it must be good.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, there must have been a lot of exciting moments for you in university. Yeah. With your friends and all of that. Everybody jumped on the Raptors bandwagon, I imagine.
Everyone was, man. It was honestly cool to see, though, because it's like the whole city was behind the team. Now you go to games, and it's like we see the fans there now being part of the media side. It's like, damn, like the Philly series, the crucial game, 15 minutes before tip. I feel like I'm more annoyed at this than most people about like fans not showing up early.
You are annoyed at this. You've talked about this.
Like to me it's the most annoying thing
about the fans not showing up on time for tip off.
And I hear the excuses. I hear the excuses of the highway, this and that. Yeah. Plan ahead. I feel like I have a probably different perspective because I live downtown and I live like 10 minutes away from the arena.
Sure.
But still, plan ahead. I don't care if you live in Whitby. Get to the arena an hour early.
Yeah.
Sit, watch the warm-ups. It's
All right,
so
leave,
cool.
Leave Whitby alone.
Yeah, it could be. But still, it's like, for me, it's like, why purchase? And the tickets are expensive now. Like that MLSC, you got like, I don't know if I should be calling it MLSC, but like still,
You do
like
what you want, man. This is Liban's
the-
opinion only.
the tickets are outrageous.
Sure.
But if you're gonna pay for the tickets,
Get your
if
money's
you're gonna
worth.
pay $300 to sit in like the 300 sections of a playoff game, get there early. But
Yeah.
those people get there early. It's the people that got the expensive seats and the business suits, you know, like those type of people.
Wow,
But
just attacking
yeah,
the
those
Toronto corporate world right now.
I hate y'all.
Okay.
I hate y'all.
Oh, damn. All right, damn. What's going on here, man? But yeah, it's like showing up to the airport early.
hmm
Well, we have to now.
But you see what
Based on what I'm seeing at
oh my
Pearson.
God,
I
yeah.
gotta go there on Saturday. I'm stressed out.
Yeah.
Might have to go a day earlier.
Go 3 a.m. That's what I did on my last trip. 3 a.m.
Yeah, my flight's at 9 in the morning.
Oh.
Guess I'm just gonna have to pull in all
On Monday?
Saturday.
Okay. That shouldn't
Anyways,
be too bad.
you took us to Bellissimos, Will and I recently.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about throughout the season about this poutine that you love
Yep.
at this institution at the Esplanade area.
It's a staple.
Yeah, $5 poutine. Yeah, I recommend it.
No. Don't say you recommend it. I have a video of you saying 10 out of 10.
That's right. I say anything on social though.
But
Yeah.
still, you guys cleaned up the whole plate.
I did.
I didn't even finish my food, and you guys were
Yeah.
demolished that poutine. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. You ordered, what did you order? You ordered some pasta?
I ordered some chicken parm.
Yeah. You treated yourself
Alfredo
that day.
pasta. I was
Yeah.
in my bag that day.
Yeah. Were you sure you could eat that, or was that just a test trial for you?
I don't know. I've been obsessed with like chicken parm nowadays.
Yeah.
Joseph and them, they're giving me spots, right? So,
Okay.
Joseph from the score, they're giving me spots. So,
Yeah. Joseph Kachar will give you the best spots in the city.
Mhm.
Ask him for the Chinese spots too, although you cannot eat anything there.
Soon, though. We'll take you to Humdy, though.
Yes. We're supposed to make a trip to Rexdale
Mhm.
at some point.
Hell yeah.
So I was told taking an Uber there might cost $100. And
TTC.
that's when the trip fell apart.
But you're generational wealth, though. So I don't
Oh,
know.
that's right.
I don't know if you could take a
Long time listener,
subway.
Lee Ben Osman.
Hey,
So
we know.
game 6 of the NBA Finals is tomorrow. Another off day today. Who's your Finals MVP right now, Lee Ben Osman?
It shouldn't be close. Sorry, Andrew. I love you, Andrew Wiggins,
Okay.
but man.
I was testing your basketball
Oh, no,
knowledge.
come on. Like,
Because
it's-
I have seen a lot of people
no, no, no,
after
no,
Game
no, no,
5
no.
pushing the Andrew
It's
Wiggins for
disrespectful.
Finals MVP.
It's
agenda.
honestly disrespectful. It's disrespectful to Andrew Wiggins, and it's disrespectful to Curry at this point.
Hmm.
Like, why are we like? When I saw tweets about that, I had to sign off. I called it a night. I started playing Call of Duty. I was like, I'm out of here. I can't entertain this conversation.
Yeah. Typical 23-year-old life.
Yeah, but it was It's Curry's. To me, Curry is like people might call this outrageous. To me, he's arguably a top 10 player of all time.
Yeah, well, Shaquille O'Neal said that this week.
He said that.
Yeah, he was asked
Shout out
about
to
it.
Shaq. Even though I don't agree with Shaq on a lot of opinions, I think he said the Raptors are going to get swept in the first round.
Almost did.
This one, I agree
Almost
with him.
did.
I agree with him. Steph is a top 10 player of all time, and he got robbed. Iggy should have won that Finals MVP. There's been so much conversation about that. And if I see one vote not for Steph Curry, if the Warriors win the title, we deserve to slander the people that voted.
You're gonna be
I
calling.
want the
You're gonna be
names.
calling some people. Oh, you're gonna get the names.
I want the names.
because they release all the names now.
Yeah, like you guys did, calling
voting.
every single person in terms of the Rookie of the Year voting.
Oh yeah,
Scotty.
yeah. So we did a little bit
I
where
want
we
the
called
names.
the U.S. media members, and I don't know. Feel like we're getting too much credit for that.
No. Shout out to
We called like 3 people.
but still, like, what's his name? Tim? Didn't
Tim
vote for
Bontemps.
Scotty?
Yeah.
No slander, but hey.
Listen, but yeah, no, definitely. I think. I mean, Steph's legacy already cemented coming into this series,
Mhm.
but because it's the finals, there's always those conversations,
Yeah.
right? And if the Warriors do take care of business one of the next 2 games and win this, I mean, there's really nothing else on
Yeah.
his resume to talk about.
Mhm.
Even though I do feel like, people can argue whether he's a top 10 player. To me, one of the most influential players. I'll give him that as well.
By far.
Also, just like he just seems perpetually like underappreciated. I don't know what it is, but it's always so easy to talk about everything else that happens with the Warriors.
Yeah.
Like when KD was there, there's big conversation with Kevin Durant, and there's big conversation about who was the best player on that team.
Mhm.
And even looking at this series, like it's so quick to just move the conversation towards Draymond Green, who's been the main character, and Wiggins as well.
Mhm.
But I did ask Blake Murphy this yesterday. So let's say Wiggins tomorrow scores 50 points and the series clinching 3, and Steph goes 0 for 9 from 3 again, and Liban Osman, you're on the ballot. Who are you writing in as the Finals MVP in that scenario?
I saw you ask like this yesterday, and I was thinking, no, I'm voting Steph. I don't care what he does. I don't care if he scores 0 points and they win the next game.
So you're just doing this at this point.
I'm a Steph apologist. I'll
You
be
you
honest
are,
with
but also you're doing it at this point because I think you're looking at the bigger picture
Yeah.
of the fact that he's never had a Finals MVP.
And if he scores 0 points, he impacted the game somehow. Like the amount of attention he draws.
yeah, it's the gravity.
Like
We always
Wiggins
talk about
does
the
what
gravity.
he does because of Steph Curry.
The Warriors, everything the Warriors do
Yeah.
revolves around Steph.
Exactly.
And aside from the poor shooting,
Mhm.
he had a really great game 5. And the thing I love about Steph too is he was all smiles after. He was so thrilled for Wiggins.
Right.
Also love the behind the scenes videos of him meeting Jay-Z and Blue Ivy.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I didn't even see that.
Blue Ivy seems so unimpressed by meeting all these celebs.
I don't think she even knows like how big of a celebrity her father is.
I think she does.
You think so?
But she's just like not impressed. I mean, you can speak
Hey.
to this more because you're part of the younger generation.
Yeah.
Are the younger generation just not as impressed about, meeting celebrities, meeting athletes, meeting musicians? I used to be very starstruck by all this.
I used to be like I remember going to meet and greets for like DeMar DeRozan.
Oh.
I was like the biggest DeMar DeRozan stan for a while.
yeah.
Still am, like I support that guy heavy, but nowadays I'm like if I see Kevin Durant walking down the street, I'm gonna be like, "What's up?"
Yeah, and that's it.
I don't care. Like I don't think we
Okay.
care that much, but it's still. I think we're all like. I feel like having also. I think beforehand, like changing how social media has like adapted this whole thing. You have constant communication, or you see these guys
Mhm.
a lot compared to back in the day, where it's like you're not really seeing these people.
Yeah,
so
it's
when
like
you see
a-
them,
It's like a more level
Yeah.
playing field.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember. I mean, you don't remember this
Mhm.
because I don't know what year you were born, like 2001 or something.
1999. Come
Okay,
on.
99.
I'm a 99 baby.
But growing up in the 90s, celebrity culture was much different back then. Like you would only see them on TV, read
Exactly.
about them in the tabloids.
So yeah, now
Same as athletes too,
Mhm.
right?
I remember All-Star weekend in Toronto.
Right.
So many, you can just see them walking on, what was it, outside Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
So many of them, and it's like, oh, cool. MJ walks by. Now, I was starstruck on that. Dwayne
Yeah,
Wade
you
walked
have-
by, I was like,
You have to be. It's MJ.
Dwayne Wade, I was like, I love you, but still, it wasn't the same, Like, it's still not, but I agree with that. How old were you, though, in the 90s? 1999. How old were you?
Real age? 99, I was 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's young.
Yeah, I know. I miss those days.
Damn, I was
It's
still in
tough
the
now.
womb.
It's tough now. I look up NBA players. Like,
Yeah.
what? Like Al Horford's still 1 year younger than me,
Wow.
And you go to the arena, you interact with some of these players,
Yeah.
especially the younger guys on the Raptors, and it's like, wow, these guys are like almost 20 years younger than me.
Right? It's
Can't
crazy.
connect with them anymore.
I
That's
want,
why
like-
when I asked Delano what his favorite championship moment was, he was like, yeah, the championship.
That's it's crazy though. Now I'm like I see these guys in the league that are like younger than me, and I'm like, what have I done with my life? Like
Yeah.
it makes you think that.
Well,
it's like,
I'm gonna just take that away from you because you're 23. So,
yeah, still young.
by the way, shout outs to as I was preparing for this draft of our favorite moments from the 2019 Raptors championship season, I was going through so many different moments and photos. Great resource was Keyshawn Mystery's Instagram.
Legend.
Just going through all the photos that he took. We were working at Yahoo Sports Canada together
Mhm.
at the time, and yeah, so many iconic moments. I got to build a shrine at my place with all his prints and his photos.
He captured what we needed, like all the special moments.
Mhm.
Fred, the Kawhi shot, everything that you can think of.
Yeah, the Fred photo of him screaming after he
Right?
hit that 3 over Quinn
Oh.
Cook. That's just my favorite.
Right?
I mean, I'm sure
So
we'll
much
get into it
emotion.
in the next segment when we draft, but like,
Are you gonna draft that? Keyshawn's moment.
I don't know. I've got a lot. I'm looking at my sheet.
Okay.
Got about 20 picks.
20.
But yeah, no, shout out to all the photographers,
Yeah.
like, Charlie Lindsay, Nelson Campana,
Mhm.
all the photographers with the team. Just thinking back to the championship season, that's the power too. You talk about social media and just like all the content creation now.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to spoil the draft, but it's just like you think about all the viral moments of like Kawhi saying when they were down 2-0, what's next? And he's like, yeah, we're going back to Toronto.
I was gonna draft that.
Right?
No,
No. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. Or even the viral moment of, Norm trying to dap Kawhi.
I forgot
and
about
Kawhi
that.
just pointing towards the court.
He's like, it's not the time. I'm in game mode.
You know what? Kawhi, settle this for me, man. In my opinion, Kawhi's the funniest person on earth.
By far. Like
I actually don't think it's close.
I think OG comes close at times. Like just with how
I think Kawhi's on a different level.
but I think Kawhi is just the year that he graced us with, like it created the greatest content, arguably in like I feel like Raptors franchise history.
yeah, and you talk about it being surreal
Yeah.
that it's been 3 years and it feels like yesterday. I think as time goes by, like it's just gonna be so strange to tell the next generation of fans that yes, Kawhi Leonard, this one of the greatest players of all time, was a Toronto Raptor
Yeah.
for one season.
Yeah, and then CP24 stalked him
Yeah,
on his
that's
airplane.
right.
Like I watched that live. How crazy was that?
Yeah. You know, the other thing too is just like, I mean, I'm thinking of that because that was really the first time Will and I started doing a lot of work together. Like we had our first video series doing Kawhi Watch, and we were going through all the rumors. You remember he was vacationing, and I think he was wearing a Blue Jays hat at one point. He had a Shoppers Drug Mart bag. I guess we should have just we should have gotten the hints when he was spotted at Home Depot buying those moving boxes. But we were trying to convince ourselves, you know.
Yeah, I remember people were saying, like I think I was at the basketball court at one point, and people were like, "Yo, he's in Yorkville having a meeting with like Drake and Masai." Like that's how crazy. Like every single day we were like checking our phones. We had Woj, Shams on notifications. Who broke that news, by the way? I forgot who. I think it was.
You know what? The person who actually broke it, if you want to give credit to, is Jeremy Castleberry.
Really?
Because he posted the Clippers logo on his Instagram. This was on a Friday, I want to say, at 3 in the morning. Because in that week during free agency, so he had the meeting with the Lakers, and then he flew in, like you mentioned, and that's when CP24 put the choppers on him and followed him.
Wild.
And then during the week, at one point, I believe Jalen Rose said that Kawhi was coming back. He was pretty certain. I don't even remember. Chris Carter, who's a former NFL receiver, I think he was working at Fox Sports, and he said sources told him.
Yeah. Remember that
he was
one
going back?
kid that was like with
I
the
said
Lakers?
it was 99.9%.
Remember that one kid?
Sure.
That one kid that was the
Oh.
Lakers sources? And then he
Yeah, that's right.
deactivated his account.
And like the speculation was so wild at the time because
Mhm.
there were people posting on like Reddit, Real GM, you know, spotting Kawhi at hotels. I remember my sister messaged me, was like, "Oh, I heard from a source that Kawhi like registered his kids at school,
Yeah.
like here."
I was gonna say if he was gonna stay, I think he would have announced it at the parade. Remember when he had that whole moment, like they gave him the mic. I thought that was if you're gonna stay and you want to stay, you really want to stay. That imagine him announcing that he's staying in front of like how many people were there? They said it was like 2 million people that showed up to the parade or something like that. Imagine he announced it there. How the city would have been crazy.
Well, the city was already crazy. I remember there was chance of like one more year.
Yeah,
You know, it was 5 more years, and
I
then it
hated
turned
the parade
to
though.
one
I'm
more
not
year.
gonna lie to you.
You know, parade wasn't the most well planned, but
Yeah.
you know, it was all right.
Yeah.
It was all right. But yeah, you know, why didn't Kawhi just stay? Would have three-peated.
You're convinced we would have won the next year, right? Because I am.
Yeah, I'm convinced. I think the one thing that bothers me, because I think there's always two conversations. Kawhi wanted to go home, be closer to home, and you have to respect that.
Yeah.
You know, outside of the fact that he's an athlete, you know, he's got his personal life, and you know, before he was traded here, that was where he wanted to go when he wanted out of San Antonio. But you know, circumstances change. You win a championship.
Yeah.
And if you care about, you know, all this stuff about legacy, things like that, come back one more year. Keep coming back until you don't win a championship.
Yeah,
Here.
I love the guy, and like for me, it's like I wasn't that hurt that he left because we won a championship. To me, it was like, okay, I get it. You want to go home. You want to
Man.
go live in San Diego or wherever you live.
Yeah.
You want to go enjoy you don't want to experience snow in the middle of like January where like you're freezing and it's like minus 30 degrees.
Kawhi's
I
a
understand.
homebody anyways, man.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have mattered.
I understood it though. I was like, I love the guy. Still, to me, he's
to me, it almost hurts even more.
really
Just knowing the what if.
right. Yeah, that hurts. But it's cool now to see like I feel like without him staying, like sometimes it's just cool to say we would have won if he came back proudly too.
No, I don't want to do the what ifs. I wanted to actually see it.
Mhm.
The thing that bothered me, so it didn't bother me that he wanted to go home, but there's all these rumors at the time that I think he was pressing
Yeah.
for Masai to make a move, trade for Paul George, who was at OKC at the time, and they would have taken on Russell Westbrook's contract as well. You know, if all those things are true, then it tells me that part of the decision-making process was Kawhi didn't think that this team was good enough
Hmm.
to win again.
And I feel like that's I obviously we don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like that's very disrespectful to probably Pascal.
To Pascal, to
You
Fred,
want
to
Westbrook
Kyle, to
on this
everyone.
team? Imagine if we had Westbrook right now and Kawhi stayed for, say, he signed like a 1-year deal type of thing.
Yeah, that's
I'd be sick.
that's a tough one. Also, the front office just built a championship team. Let the
Mhm.
front office do their thing,
Exactly.
right? And we saw the players get better the next season.
Yeah.
Basically on a 60-win pace during that pandemic suspended season.
Do you
Without
think? Do you think though, if he knew a bubble was coming up,
Yeah, people always say this.
if he knew that he wouldn't be
No.
playing in LA,
This is too many hypotheticals.
would he have stayed?
No, he would have left anyways.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But
I think he would have stayed.
no, they would have three-peated.
Yeah.
They would have went in that bubble, beat the Lakers. Would have beaten LeBron and the Lakers in the finals.
Oh, that would have been glorious.
And
Especially
then-
after the LeBron 2 years that
I
we talked
know.
about. Oh, Kawhi break.
And then last
down
year, I
LeBron.
just wanted to see this Kawhi Raptors team go up against teams like the Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nets, like the new and improved Giannis and the Bucks, even the Celtics now, right?
Yeah.
Like
And-
I look at all these really good teams, and I'm still like, man,
Yeah.
I want to see how that 2019 team with Kawhi stacks up against all these teams.
And we would have taken care of them. Best doctors in the world. Kawhi and Dine. Like, he would have walked into any restaurants.
He still can now.
And, legit. And they would be like, you think you're paying? What?
No, he getting that Poutine at Bellisimo's for free.
Lifetime supply.
Yeah. That's
Lifetime.
what you want. That's what you want. But listen,
I talked to them about it.
yeah, you are VIP there, I believe. But yes, let's take an early break because I think all of these drafts that we always do, we're always rushed and we run out of time. So I want to give ourselves plenty of time. So let's take a break here. I'll continue to be joined by Liban Osman of the Toronto Star when we come back. And we'll also have James Herbert of CBS Sports. And we will draft our favorite moments from the 2019 Raptors championship season. I'm your host, Alex Wong. You're listening to the Raptors Show on Sportsnet 590, The Fan. Welcome back to the Raptors Show on Sportsnet 590, The Fan. I'm your host, Alex Wong. Continue to be joined in studio by Toronto Stars Liban Osman. And we're going to draft our favorite moments from the 2019 championship season. And we're joined on the line by our draft expert, James Herbert of CBS Sports. James, how are you?
I am doing great. Thank you for having me back for another draft.
Oh, always. Content can be difficult, during the non-Raptors portion of the calendar. Some people did ask me if I should do a whole hour. I don't know if you saw this. Scotty Barnes was gaming yesterday, and he called out Jake Fisher for the report that OG wanted to be traded. Or that
firing
OG
shots on Twitch. I did see this.
Yeah. This is the culture we're in. But, we'll have plenty of time to discuss.
That's my franchise player.
We'll have plenty of time to discuss this Raptors news. First of all, James, before we get into the draft, if Kawhi stayed, would the Raptors have three-peated?
I don't know the answer to that question.
You're
man.
supposed
Like,
to just say yes, man. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know you're on the Raptors show?
I know I'm on the Raptors show,
Okay.
but I think if there's anything we have learned, it's like you can't just.
Yes, you can.
These things are not that predictable. Like, I think it is fair to look at the season after and say that Raptors team was like the favorite. I think it's totally fair to say that team on paper would have been better than the Lakers team that won the championship.
I
actually think
you're gonna tell me they don't play the
Kawhi,
games on paper? Is that what you're gonna tell me?
They don't play the games on paper, but I would actually say even without Kawhi, that Raptors team could have beaten that Lakers team in a series. They dominated them when they met, including one like blowout in the bubble, like, a month or so before the Lakers won the championship. Like, that was a really, really good team. And I think it's fair to say that, like, with Kawhi, they would have been a better version of the team that they already were. They knew their identity at that point. They were playing with more confidence. I think the young guys, they grew into larger roles without Kawhi, but I still think they would have been better than they were the previous season, even if Kawhi had come back. So it's fair to say that, like, they could have done the three-peat. They could have been something of a dynasty, but we just don't know. That's not how these things work.
Is that right? Because all playoffs long, I've been hearing people tell me Jason Tatum's a top 10 player and the Celtics are for sure winning a championship. That's what people always push these narratives.
Boston needed 7 games when Pascal didn't play basketball for how many months?
Oh, damn.
Hey.
Yeah, welcome to the Raptors show, James. How do you like these biased views? Jason Tatum, the new Paul George. Anyways, James.
That's a compliment, man. All
Is
right.
it a compliment? Anyways, James, as always, we're going to go 5 rounds, maybe a bonus round if we have time. We're drafting favorite moments from the 2019 championship season. I assume it's going to be pretty postseason heavy, but anything goes on court, off court, parade, opening day, media day, press conferences, regular season moments if you like. And James, being our draft expert, you go first, Liban second, and I always get the last pick. So James Herbert with your first pick.
Yeah, I'm going to take it's a really obscure moment from the Raptors season. It's a really well-designed sideline out of bounds play from Nick Nurse, just giving the ball to their best player and letting him work. They were playing against, a conference rival, the Philadelphia 76ers, and Kawhi Leonard he made a nice little shot on the baseline.
Oh, okay. You're talking about game 7.
Yeah, I'm talking about game 7.
Yeah.
It's the shot. Come on. I don't really have a choice here. You have to take that number 1, right?
Do you, though? Did the Blazers have to take Greg Oden? I don't know what I'm going with this, but yes, you have a good point. You have a good point. You do have to take the shot. I don't even know why I wrote this down on my list because I got the 3rd pick.
I see a number 2nd for you on your list.
Yeah, these are not in order.
Hey,
They're in order the way I brainstormed. So James Herbert opens it up with the obvious pick with Kawhi's shot. So now it's on to Liban. Liban, what you got?
I'm going to go with Kawhi dunking on Giannis in Game 6.
Okay.
The steal from Lowry on Middleton. Basically setting up Giannis. I feel like he held him a tiny bit to set him up to get slammed on. And that was, it felt like an alley-oop. Like, remember that classic way to LeBron? I think was it a bounce pass? I don't think it was alley-oop, but that classic image of that shot, it felt like something similar to that. And the way Lowry, and then that whole comeback, like I remember I was at Boston Pizza for that. It's funny because
these details are unnecessary, but nice.
I was at Boston Pizza for that Game 6, and they were down a lot, I think, at halftime. And we just knew they were going to come back. And when Kawhi dunked on Giannis, it was like, okay, we won. It's over.
Yeah, how many plates of poutine was consumed that day, man?
Probably 3.
Man,
I cried that day, too.
Wow.
you cried.
Yeah.
Tears of joy.
Yeah.
Tears of joy. Yeah. That was part of the 26-3 run that they made starting at the end of the third quarter when it looked like the Eastern Conference Finals was going to go to a Game 7 in Milwaukee. I actually had some stats from that run. During that 26-3 run, they were 10 of 14 from the field, the Raptors. Serge and Fred combined to go 5 of 5, 11 points. Kawhi had 10 points and 6 rebounds during that stretch. And yeah, no, that dunk was amazing. And we're talking about Keyshawn Mystery capturing all the great moments. He captured that one as well. That was great.
And the Bucks on that run, they were like 1 for 9 in 8 minutes. Like the Raptors defense was nuts.
Yeah.
That game. Like they were down 14 late in the third, and then it just totally flipped. I just remember being there. I mean, we'd heard that arena go crazy a few times during that playoff run. But I had only seen the games in Toronto in the conference finals. Like I wasn't there for the shot. I wasn't there for the Philly games. But that dunk that Liban just like drafted, that was as loud as I'd ever heard Scotiabank to that point.
Yeah, no, completely agree. Such a great moment.
Boston Pizza was also crazy.
All right, man. I don't need to. What is this? What is this Boston Pizza agenda, man? All right, my first pick. I'm gonna go with what I consider to be Kawhi's first playoff masterpiece, Game 4 against Philadelphia in the second round. Raptors trailing 2-1 in the series. Heading into the game, Pascal was questionable with an injury. He ended up playing. Only 6 players on the Raptors scored in that game, and they only got 12 points off the bench, all from Serge Ibaka. This was a series when Fred and Norm were essentially unplayable for extended stretches. Raptors looking at a 3-1 deficit, looking at another second-round exit after making all of these moves, coming off LeBron toe, coming off getting swept that previous season to Cleveland. And Kawhi delivered 39 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 13 of 20 from the field, 5 of 7 from 3, and that huge three-pointer to essentially clinch the game with under 2 minutes left. Really, that was the first defining playoff game, in my opinion, for Kawhi's tenure here. So, damn, are we just going to draft all Kawhi moments? What's going on?
I think so. And that's when you kind of thought, okay, he's the best player in the world. Like,
yeah.
And we have that guy.
Yeah, no, there were a lot of reminders during that playoff run and a few other moments we might get to, but that was the first one for me. All right, on to the second round. James Herbert, you're on the clock again.
I'm going to keep the Kawhi love going. I'm going to take
How come only you get the draft sound, man? I'm jealous. Anyways, go on.
I think it signifies the start of a new round, right? I don't know. But I'm going to take the Bucks Game 3, specifically Kawhi's dunk in the second overtime. This followed his legendary quote after Game 2 where he was asked, like, what's next? And Kawhi said, I'm going to Toronto Game 3. He played 52 minutes in that game. This was in the second overtime, so he played about 50 minutes to that point. Like a couple minutes into that game, it seemed like he aggravated his like leg injury. It was bothering him like the whole night, and honestly for the rest of the playoffs. But he was still absolutely incredible. He still had another huge play after that dunk where he had a clutch steal and went and got an open dunk on the break. But, you know, it was just like the Raptors season was completely in the balance. They were down 0-2 in the series. Kyle Lowry and Norm Powell had fouled out late in the fourth quarter. Pascal Siakam had missed 2 free throws late in regulation, setting up the overtime. Gasol had been playing with 5 fouls, like basically since late in the fourth quarter as well. And Kawhi just kind of made all the plays they needed at the end. And, you know, that one dunk that he had on a break, it was after a steal. He took off from like the dotted line, threw it down with his left hand. Like all of his big dunks were with his left hand in the playoffs, but that was an absolutely enormous one. And again, it was like the crowd went absolutely nuts. They knew how huge it was, and it was the turning point in the series.
Yeah, no, I love that one. I feel like we forget about that one sometimes. Forget about that Chris Middleton 3 at the end of regulation. That would have put the Bucks up 3-0. But, you know, no need for hypotheticals. All right, Liban, your second pick.
I'm going to go with Drake's speech after Game 5 against Milwaukee with, I think, was it City News that uploaded, where he was like, look around you. We created this. To me, that
my
was the
God.
most funniest, and like it felt like he was part of the team. It felt like he was like taking jump shots.
Drake is always part of
Yeah.
the
All my
team.
chips with the dip.
Hell
Bring
yeah.
them dips.
And like, yeah, he was like Toronto's like an NCAA team. Like Drake's speeches, that whole playoff, the whole like championship run was iconic. I think I have a couple moments that I might draft of just Drake solely.
Oh,
But
man.
he was glorious that whole run.
Damn. Drake going in the second round of this draft. All right, man. Let me go off the board a little as well. I'm going to take William Lou smoking a cigar in Oakland at 5 in the morning
Hey,
after game 6 of the NBA Finals. I believe this is still his pinned tweet if you go to his Twitter. But I think it also just reflected overall just, you know, the mood and just the celebration for the fan base. You know, Will's been a longtime Raptors fan. A lot of people, you know, during that championship run probably followed the Raptors from day one. And everybody's got their favorite memory or memories from that day. And, you know, since Will's not here, vacationing in parts unknown, and since I always draft Will, you know, find a way to draft Will in any draft that we do, I'm gonna take Will Lou's cigar moment. So on to round 3, James Herbert. I feel like Lee Pen and I just wasted our picks. So off you go, James.
I gotta follow you guys up with another kind of off-court thing. I can't actually believe this is still on the board. I'm taking Marc Gasol at the parade. He was just a lunatic, just just completely
put it
drunk out of his
kindly,
mind. Just an iconic performance. He had earned that. He had absolutely earned that. It was so big for them. It was obviously a season-changing trade to get him, which a lot of people didn't like at the time. But yeah, I mean, from the first round, he shut down Vucevic completely, and he went and made Embiid work. He changed the Bucks series when he, you know, took those open threes they were giving him, and I thought his help defense was awesome against Giannis. He was just like, you know, like what a guy! Like just all the like interviews he gave while he was with the Raptors for those couple of years, like he was a really great guy to have around. He was a sort of, you know, one of the leaders of the team in his own way, and like to see such a, you know, ordinarily professional, nice man just out of his mind and just having the absolute time of his life, probably blacked out. I don't know how much of that he even remembers, and seeing the way his teammates reacted to him. It was just incredible. I will never forget that.
Yeah, you didn't even shout out Eric Moreland for saving Mark from almost falling off one of the parade buses.
Wasn't he supposed to do like a speech too?
He was supposed
I
to
think
do a
Danny
speech.
Green stopped him from doing the speech.
Yeah, I don't think he was in any shape to deliver a speech
Right? No.
by the time, because I was like 6 hours into the parade too.
Yeah.
All right, Lee Ben, what's your third pick?
My third pick, I think it's gonna be Lowry's ovation after the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, okay, yeah.
To me, that was like he deserved every single. Like it was, I wasn't there, but I don't know who was there for that. But you could hear how loud it was through the TV, and he deserved it after going through like this guy played with Andrea Bargnani. He went through the tough times, like he
I love
he
how your one
suffered.
example is he played with
100%.
Andrea Bargnani.
Bargnani slander. Yeah, he deserves it, but still, like he went through like Jose starting over him at one point. Like it was like this guy went through the gutter, and like he was dedicated to Toronto. He wanted to win here, and it was beautiful to see him get the ovation that he deserved, right? Like he deserved that, and it was like, yeah, all the work he put in, it was finally deserved.
No, that was such a great moment in the arena, and it was just something that kind of spontaneously broke out as they were getting the trophy.
Yeah.
And it always felt like to me that the appreciation for Kyle came maybe a little later than it should have here in Toronto in terms of just like the outward kind of appreciation, because I think fans have always appreciated what Kyle brought to the floor, you know, beyond just looking at the box score and things of that. So it was a great moment for him. All right, I'm going to go with Pascal's Game 1 performance in the NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors. 32 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 14 of 17 from the field. I think that was just such a great night. It was a very close game in Game 1, but the Raptors really had control of it throughout. And Pascal, on the biggest stage, making his finals debut, put on a great performance, you know, unlike Jason Tatum. So it was great.
Wow.
Anyways, James Herbert, round 4, favorite moments from the Raptors championship season. What's your pick?
So that series started with Pascal having that dominant performance. It ended with Fred VanVleet making every big shot there was to make. And I'm going to take Fred's game 7. You could go with Kyle the way he started that game, but VanVleet kind of took them home. And the pull up threes he was making, just the way that he kind of rose to that challenge, it was amazing to see, especially because of how hard he was working that whole series to do that in game 6 on the road after, he was the guy that was the one in the box and one against Steph Curry. And even when they were in like, normal, quote unquote, normal coverage, he was face guarding him. He was chasing him around screens. He was playing huge minutes. He probably wasn't sleeping because he had the newborn, but that apparently gave him superpowers. And, he had already turned his kind of postseason around at that point, but the pressure is just so much higher in those moments. And just to see him deliver like that, he's screaming, he's got the cut on his face, the whole thing, like it was amazing to see him kind of cap it off the way that he did.
Yeah, got himself a finals MVP vote from Hubie Brown.
Hubie.
He earned it.
If Wiggins gets the same thing, imagine.
Oh, man. I swear, if Steph doesn't win this finals MVP. Anyways, Liban, what's your 4th pick?
I'm gonna go with Joel Embiid crying after Game 7.
Savage.
And
I
listen,
don't know.
I cry. We all cry. Like it's nothing bad. You
There's
know?
nothing wrong with crying.
I love the emotion too, because like he wanted to win so bad.
Yeah.
But I have to take it after they beat us in round 1, and then and he was doing the airplane.
Okay, so
Sad guy Joel.
so you're retroactively picking this,
Yeah.
because of the ongoing rivalry.
Yes, 100%. And yeah, he did the airplane like that whole series, and it was like
Yeah.
a joke. And shout out to Marc Gasol though. Like everyone was celebrating, and then he goes and he hugs Joel. I think it was
Yeah,
Joel
Mark.
Embiid.
Mark is the ultimate sportsman.
Yeah.
You know, one of the wildest playoff moments just happened, right? Series clinching 4-bound shot in Game 7, and I love the awareness of all the guys in that moment. Kyle grabbing the game ball, Marc Gasol knowing in the moment to go and console Joel Embiid.
Basketball IQ, man.
Only tears that should have been shed is when they let Jimmy Butler go and sign Al Horford.
Yep.
Should have saved the tears for then. Anyways, with my 4th pick, I'm going to take from Game 7 as well. Serge Ibaka's Game 7-3 in front of the Raptors bench at the start of the 4th quarter. Somehow, I mean, I've reached a point where I love this moment more than Kawhi's shot, just because nobody was scoring that game, especially on the Raptors outside of Kawhi. And I want to say they were up either 2 or 3 points at that point. This is early in the 4th quarter. And when Serge got the ball and he pump faked it once, Ben Simmons was there, and then Serge let it go. If you ever go back and watch the video, just look at all the expressions of people, the coaches and the players on the Raptors bench. There was just such a sigh of relief when that shot went in. I think Danny had a look on his face where he couldn't believe what just happened. And just shouts to Serge, man. Serge brought a lot of great on the court contributions and also off the court entertainment. So I'm going to go with his Game 7-3. All right, on to the 5th round. James Herbert, what is your 5th pick?
I'm going to take, oh man, this is actually tough because there's like a few that I want to take.
We'll
here.
probably have time for a bonus round. So
Okay. I will take. I'm going to take your first regular season pick because I happened to be there for Marc Gasol's first game with the Raptors. It was in New York, and he came in. I just remember like literally the first stint that he had. He was slinging passes all over the court, like perfect passes, some of which his teammates weren't even ready for, and were caught off guard. And they like told me that afterward in the locker room when I was like reporting a story on it. And I just remember sitting there at press row at MSG just watching this team and saying like, I only want to watch them when Marc Gasol's on the court now. Like the ball just moves so much better. Like he has changed the way this team's offense looks, and he barely even knows the plays. And I think he was a transformative presence on that team, and I'll always remember that game specifically. He didn't play that many minutes. He didn't do anything like that spectacular. It was just like high post passing and like good defense and stuff. But in the locker room, like Danny Green was like over the moon that they had this guy on the team was talking about how he'd kicked he'd beaten up the Spurs in the playoffs before when he battled him. Like Van Vliet was talking about how he was like actually shocked that he was wide open on one of the passes Gasol threw to him, and he was so open that he missed it. Like this was just a sort of new element that this team had never had, and I think like he clearly was the missing piece. I don't think they win the championship without making that trade because of what we'd already talked about when I was talking about how drunk he was at the parade. Like he was absolutely essential in those playoff series, and you could kind of see the beginnings of it as like literally as soon as he stepped on the court.
Yeah, no, I think we can be definitive about it. They don't win the championship without making the Marcus Gasol trade. Like he was so instrumental to them.
You don't get past Philly at all.
Yeah. All right, Liban, what's your fifth pick?
I was deciding between two. I'll probably say this one for the bonus round. I'm gonna go with since James picked Fred game 6. I'm gonna go with Lowry game 6 to start off.
Yeah.
He scored the first 11 points, 4 for 4 from shooting, 2 threes. There was no better way to start the game than the guy that has been there the longest getting you. We were up, what, 11-2? That's all
they jumped
Lowry.
out to an 11-2
All
lead.
Lowry.
And this was coming off Kyle missing the potential
Right.
championship clinching shot at the buzzer in game 5.
Right? How do you respond? You do that.
Mhm.
And I think he finished the game with like 26 and 10.
26 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds.
For me, that's like, there's so many iconic Lowry games, but to me, that's like the icing on the cake. Probably the most memorable too, just because like it led to a championship. And then after the game too, you got like, Fred was at the press conference, and then Lowry's asking him questions. It's like, that was just, that whole night was just amazing. I was at Young and Dundas that night, but
Not surprised.
but
Was there a Boston pizza there? Yeah.
no, I wish.
Oh, okay.
Everyone was on the TTC. It was that the city was crazy, and like yeah, shout out to Lowry.
Yeah, no, that was great. All right.
Took pressure off of Kawhi too, because
Right?
he had just done so much in that playoff run, played so many minutes on like one leg. And for Lowry to start the game like that, I thought it was like exactly what the Raptors needed.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to go with, okay, we're going to do a quick bonus round after. I'm going to go with Serge Ibaka's How Hungry Are You run during the championship season. Specifically, the beef testicle Philly cheesesteak that he served Kyle Lowry, and then the beef penis pizza that he served Kawhi Leonard. Just a great run of content by Serge during that season. I'm very pro Serge, so I'm trying to make all the picks that I can.
Didn't you work on that show too?
Yes, but I've talked about it a million times. I did sample all
You
the
gotta
food.
disclose it, man.
You did?
All the food is great.
Was it good?
Tried them all.
You tried the beef peanut?
I tried them all.
Wow.
Anyways, let's do a quick
What was
bonus
your
round.
favorite?
The pizza.
Okay.
The pizza was great. All right, bonus round, 60 seconds for each of this. James Herbert, what you got?
Kawhi Leonard in the locker room to his teammates after they lose game 2 of the finals. Nick Nurse says, "Let's go get one." In Oakland, Kawhi's response, "F that, but not F. Let's go get both."
Oh, man.
Just-
how did I forget about this one? Damn.
Just amazing. Like that says so much about the sort of changed mentality of the team that year and the kind of confidence that they had, and like Kawhi's like very sort of unassuming and every once in a while speaking up leadership style. Like that's everything right there.
No, I love that. Liban, what's your bonus pick?
My bonus pick will be, I think a story came out about Kawhi. Was the board man gets paid?
Yeah,
To me, that
right.
was like, that was just so hilarious. Like it fit the description of who he was. And like it came out, I think, during the finals. And it was like, we just like the content around Kawhi that whole year was just special. And I think he even like agreed. He's like, yeah, I used to say that just to get, like, that was my mindset to getting into the league in college and high school. And it kind of just tells you who Kawhi really was, as a player, as a person, just like his mindset. And like, you kind of understood who he was,
Yeah, and New Balance was able to build a whole campaign around it and sell a lot
Put
of
it on a
merch.
shirt.
I wonder how much they sold.
Yeah, I don't know. I got a lot of New Balance merch
Really?
from that year. Guess I'll bring it out when I turn 50. My last pick. Thank you, producer Derek. I'm going to take Kawhi's last laugh at the parade when he gave the speech and he ended it with the laugh. Such a perfect way to just cap off that season because everybody remembers him showing up on media day. A lot of tension in the building. Masai comes out with Danny and Kawhi, and Doug Smith of the Toronto Star asks him, Kawhi, tell us about yourself. And then he was looking around. He's like, I can't even see you. And then he let off his awkward laugh. And then he ended the season with a laugh as well. And then he left. But that's not part of the pick. The pick is just the laugh.
What a fun
parade.
guy.
What a fun guy. Actually, the funniest guy in the world. This is what I was telling Lee Ben earlier, James. Like, I actually think Kawhi is the funniest dude in the world. Like, he's just hilarious. Agree or disagree?
Deadpan, but
No,
has a
like, it's
sense of
great.
humor for sure.
No, like, it's great. All right, James. Appreciate you. I don't have any more draft ideas in the meantime, but I'm sure we'll find a reason to have you on otherwise as well.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you, James. Wow, that was a fun draft. Lots of moments to think
Right.
about.
So many.
Yeah. Well, Lee Ben, appreciate you joining me in studio today.
I feel official.
Yeah. No, you've been official. Yeah. Here to just make dreams come true. I know
the
you're
YouTube comments.
I know you're a big fan of the reality show Big Brother,
Oh yeah.
and we've been talking about it.
Yes.
We got to be on the show. We
This
gotta
is
get
my
on the show.
favorite segment right now.
You
Big
have
Brother,
20
if you're hearing
seconds.
this, I will be. I actually love the show. I feel like I've told you this so much. I've
You're a
watched the
super
show.
fan. You're a
Yeah, I
super
watched
fan.
every single season. Who do you think will be the best player though? Like if you had to put a Raptors player on Big Brother.
I would go with OG Anunoby.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he'd be too quiet and people would be like, that guy is sketchy. You know, even though he's just chilling and vibing. I think Scotty would do the best.
Okay. No, I'm just putting that out there that Lee Ben and I would like to be on the next season of Big Brother Canada. Anyways, that does it for us today. Lee Ben, thank you again. And, I'm your host, Alex Wong. You've been listening to The Raptors Show on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Make sure you find The Raptors Show wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe, and please rate and review our show. A reminder, we're off tomorrow, but back on Friday, I'll have Vivek Jacob join me. We'll talk about Game 6 of the NBA Finals. And if he watches the new Adam Sandler movie on Netflix, Hustle, we'll review it. Speaking of Andrea Bargnani jokes, there's one in there too. And a cameo from Sergio Scariolo. Thanks again to Lee Ben Osmond, James Herbert, board producer Derek Brandeo, Jennifer Rolnick, helping us with the YouTube stream. I'll talk to you on Friday.